Well, greetings, all my watch friends and maybe some car enthusiasts who happen to like watches out there on YouTube and wherever else you might eventually see this video. Celine Driver again. Um, as you probably saw from the title to this, I wanted to go live today and talk a bit about one of the watches I really like in my collection. My Seiko Pogue. And yes, it's Pogue. And I'm going to explain why it's a Pogue, and I'm going to use a website, which I link to down below there in the description, of where I'm getting this information from. And it is corroborated somewhat from other websites, but this one was the one I got most of my information from. It's a website called the Spring Bar. And I've read a lot of articles from them, and it seems to be a good place for information. I'm just going to jump right into, I mean, between this watch and my Squale Lion Shark, create most, either in the case of Lion Shark, outright hating on me for owning a watch that was produced in part from TGV and the Urban Gentry channel. I guess there's a certain amount of dislike for him, which I don't understand. But this watch seems to create all kinds of angst out there. I don't know why the camera shows us upside down, but anyway, this watch seems to create a whole bunch of angst on its own for reasons that I cannot fathom. But the people usually address specific issues with the watch, and I want to go over them one at a time. Nobody's joined me yet, but that's okay. I'm just going to pop over to the Spring Bar website. I don't know how to do screen sharing yet, so forgive me. Now, if you go to the link that I provide in the description and you scroll down to various sections, you'll see things about the watch that lead me to believe that this is a real Pogue, and why I don't understand all the angst. For one thing, the inner bezel. I don't know if you can see the inner bezel on here, but it's black. And everyone, I can't tell you the number of messages I get. Oh, that's not the chapter ring. I'm sorry, not inner bezel, chapter ring. The chapter ring is wrong. The chapter ring is wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Well, if you scroll down the page to get to the section called the bezels, and you look at a picture that's right there, and there's a picture of two watches, close-ups. One of them is the Pogue with the silver face. One is the one with the gold face. And in the one with the gold face, you can clearly see a black chapter ring. And underneath the picture, it says a 6139-6000 silver dial and a 69 and a 6139-002 with a yellow dial and black indicator ring. A black indicator ring. Some of these watches escaped from Seiko with black inner rings, indicator rings, chapter rings, whatever you want to call them. So, myth one debunked. This has a legitimate black indicator ring. These watches did come with it, and I'm going to let that one die. Let's see, somebody join? Nobody joined. No, nobody's there, but that's okay. That's okay. I'm not really here for that. Then you scroll to the next section called the dials. 3 different colors for the dials, yellow, blue, and silver, with 3 variations for each color. The markings on the dial or lack thereof depend on the year of its release. Okay, so let's see. Since the introduction, the label on the dial by 12 o'clock has always read chronograph automatic, which mine does. I'm going to look here, pardon me. Chronograph automatic, it's there. or just automatic for non-JDM models. As for the words at the 9 o'clock mark, it reads 70 water 70-meter proof for releases until the early part of 1970. These are commonly referred to as proof models or proof dials. After this time, after 1970, the markings changed to water 70-meter resist. This shift was due to a law passed in 68, blah, 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 blah. Sometime during the latter part of 1972, the company also removed the markings 70-meter resist, but retained the marking water resistant on the case back. So another problem that people had with this watch is it doesn't say 70-meter resist or 70-meter proof on the dial. No, it doesn't. Fully acknowledge that. However, it does say on the back 70-meter, pardon me, 70-meter, water resistant on the case back. I will try to show you that. Hopefully you can see it. Here, let me go back to this camera view. Whoops, a little high. Maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. But it is there. So, yes, my dial doesn't say, is not a proof dial. Yes, it does not say 70-meter resist or 70-meter proof, but in 1972, they changed the dial. So the dial doesn't read that anymore, but the dial on the back, it does say water resistant on the case back. By the way, the case back also has the part of the model number 6139-6002, and it does have the Seiko serial number. So, myth number 2 of my Pogue debunked. Let's see. The case. The 6139-600X series comes in stainless steel screw back with square corners measuring 40-millimeter diameter. The case back houses the model number and serial number for that piece. If you like to determine the date of production, you only need to check the first 2 digits of the serial number, which tell you the year and month, respectively. Well, let's see. Let me look at mine real quick. Hang on. Well, let's see. First 2 digits on mine are 5 and 0. So I want to go out on a limb here and say that 5 is May and 0 is probably, well, no, I'm sorry. 5 would be the year, which I'm guessing is 70. Well, maybe it's month and year. I don't know, but it's there. So let's see, a 5 on the year would be 75, and I guess 0 would be what, January? Okay, well, whatever. It is also marked water resistant, as I've already talked about. So, you know, I don't know what to say to you guys. I mean, the information I have, and maybe I've got the serial number part wrong. Maybe maybe that part's wrong. I don't know. But the 2 main complaints I've had about this watch since I've owned it and since I've showed it. Hey, PK, be right with you. Hang on a second. I missed your point. Okay, well, I'll check with you later about the point, unless you want to bring it up here. But the point is, the 2 main contentions of controversy about my watch, the indicator ring and the lack of certain verbiage on the watch. According to this article, which seems to be pretty comprehensive from the spring bar, there are explanations for each reason. And I've gone over them. I've given you the link to the spring bar article, so you can go read it for yourself. I've told you where in the article each piece of information I've gotten comes from. And the spring bar article was the main article I used when I was researching the Pogue watches before I bought this one. Now, am I 1,000% sure that this is an authentic late 60s, early 70s Pogue? 1,000% sure? No. I'm not 1,000% sure of anything except I'm sitting in this chair and I'm alive. Okay? Other than that, everything else in my life, I'm not all that sure of. Am I satisfied? Was I satisfied to the point of, after doing my due diligence and my research, that when I bought this watch, at the time I bought the watch, I was satisfied that between the spring bar article and a couple of other articles that I read, but mainly this one, was I satisfied that this watch was what I was looking for? Yes. Am I still satisfied that this watch is a Pogue and is the real deal? As far as I'm concerned, it is. Now, there may be Seiko gurus out there that are a hell of a lot smarter than I am. And in fact, I know there are. I will never claim to be the be-all and end-all of any watchmaker, not even Zelos, although I'm pretty familiar with Zelos. And somebody may watch this video down the line and say, nah, he got screwed. Okay, I got screwed, if that's the case. You'd have to prove it to me, because right now I'm satisfied that this watch is a Pogue. It's got the right markings. It's got the right colorings. It may have an aftermarket part or two in it. I don't know. I bought it used. I don't know the history of the piece. I don't know. You know, it may have an aftermarket crystal. Great. The crystal looks fantastic. You can see it's got not a scratch on it. The case may have been polished once or twice in its life. I'm good with that. It looks fantastic. It wears beautifully. It's a comfortable watch. It keeps excellent time. I mean, what more do you want? It's really a beautiful watch, and I'm very happy with it. And even if it turns out to be not 100% Pogue and it's got a couple of aftermarket parts in it, I can live with that. So, you know, I'm sorry that this watch causes angst out there. I'm not trying to pass this watch off as anything other than a Seiko Pogue that I don't intend on selling. So if I do intend on selling, I'll put a ton of caveats in the sale. Excuse me. And I'll go from there. But I don't intend on selling this watch, so I don't know what the problem is. So that's really all I had to say. That's really the only reason I came on, was to say what I had to say. And to show you where I derived my information from. And to look at you guys straight in the camera, as if I'm looking straight at you and I'm talking to you, and say, this is what I believe. This is what I know. This is what the watch tells me. And as far as I'm concerned, that's the end of it. You know, if somebody else comes at me with, oh, such and such about your Pogue is wrong, I'll say, okay, I made a video of this X number of days, weeks, months, years ago. Go look at that video, and then you'll see where I'm coming from. Well, as far as I'm concerned, I'm done with the Pogue. The Pogue makes me happy. And that's all that matters, is it makes me happy. The Lion Shark makes me happy. I don't care that people dislike Tristano. and they dislike the urban gentry and dislike whatever they think it all stands for. The watch makes me happy. I worked hard to get it. I got it. I ain't selling it. And I'm not ashamed to own it. I'm not ashamed to own really any watch that I own. So that's that. Now, that's all I had to say. And I appreciate, well, only my friend PK is popped in on the chat or on the live stream, so that's okay. I love PK. He does some excellent, excellent work. If you want a customized watch, I mean, you can literally pick out every piece of the watch, movement, case, crystal, hands, second hands, complications. He's the guy to go talk to. He comes up with some very, very inventive stuff. I made a video of the one he made for me. It's been over a year now. Go find that one. He made a watch out of this gargantuan, I think it was brass, maybe it was bronze bolt, nut, sorry. And built it for me. I picked everything out. He put it together. He sent it to me. It's a beautiful watch. And he's really, really knowledgeable about what he does and what he's doing. So, and an artist. So go check him out. He's a really good guy. So I'm pretty much done. If you liked what I had to say, give me a thumbs up. Appreciate it. Comments, questions, suggestions down below. If you happen to stumble on this thing, you're not already a subscriber, please click the subscribe button. Help me get to 1,000 subscriptions. I really like to get there, just as a milestone of sorts. And if you do click the subscribe button, click the bell icon next to it so you're alerted when I either go live or I post new content. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching video. Thanks for listening to my rant. Have a good rest of the day. See you soon.